Hello, you're watching InstaForex News with me, Anna Kasatkina. It seems that risk attitude in the world's market will continue to worsen, and this will play into the hand of the dollar more than ever before. In recent weeks, since the risk of the second recession in the USA was strengthening and the recovery perspectives of the world's economy were worsening, the sentiments were becoming more negative. The thing is that investors are not confident that the authorities take the appropriate measures. Several weeks ago, the Federal Reserve System agreed to expand the bond purchase program and thereby to retain the current levels of the liquidity on the market. However, the central bank has not yet come to a conclusion regarding the additional measures. This week, the Wall Street Journal newspaper announced that 7 out of 17 FRS members were against the unchanged balance of the FRS. Such situation means that the expansion of the quantitative easing, in other words, the further enlargement of the FRS balance, will be difficult to realize. It will be interesting to know to what degree this will be admitted by the FRS chairman Ben Bernanke when he appears on the conference of the FRS Kansas City devoted to the economic policy at the end of the next week. His public speaking coincides with the GDP data of the USA for the second quarter. It is forecasted that the advance of the GDP will be revised downward to 1.3% from 2.4%. The problem is that the recovery comes to an end not only in the USA. As to Europe, the increase of the German GDP in the second quarter turned out to be more considerable. It grew by 2.2%. However, the German economy still significantly depends on the export, and this dependence will strengthen with the deceleration of the growth rates of the world economy, and smaller and weaker neighboring countries most likely will act as a brake on the economy. It seems the problems with the sovereign debts in some European countries will not be solved at the nearest time. Moody's agency again reminded about the risks connected with the sovereign debts, having warned that it can decrease the credit rating of Spain next month. On Tuesday evening, Standard & Poor's agency has already declined the rating of Ireland to AA- from AA. The perspectives of Great Britain also very quickly worsen against the background of the major reduction of state spending this autumn. Even new member of the Bank of England Monetary Policy Committee, Martin Wheel, warned about the high risks of the second recession in Great Britain. Meanwhile, in Japan, the situation is even worse. The fact that recently the yen was used as the safe haven currency, and as the result the dollar-yen pair fell to 15-year low below the rate of 85, had an impact on the situation. The economic advance in Japan is weak, the deflation is observed, and Nikkei index dropped below the level of 9,000 for the first time in 15 months. Nevertheless, despite the messages from Tokyo about the convening of a special meeting of the Bank of Japan, hardly anything points to the fact that the Japanese authorities are ready to intervene on the market or to take some new measures on the policy's easing in order to stop the growth of the yen. According to investors, the inactivity of any large central banks or government only strengthens the uncertainty and thereby weakens their risk propensity. Taking into account the decrease of CRB index and downward pressure which is exerted on the commodity currencies, the asylum currencies are still perceived as the best asset for the fund's investment. By now, the dollar was considered as the safe haven currency along with the yen and the Swiss franc. However, since the American currency fell to 15-year low below the rate of 85 yen and the euro dropped to 1.31 against the franc, and with the result that the franc became a serious problem for the Swiss authorities, the probability that some measures will be taken from the part of the central banks of both countries increases. In such way, the attractiveness of the yen and the Swiss franc as the safe haven currencies can decrease, having provided the dollar with the opportunity to benefit from the worsening of the world's economic perspectives. You were watching InstaForex News. Thank you and goodbye.